experience the full power of the dark side. Good!
We will deal with your rebel friends soon enough.
What the?
Lisa back!
Prepare to fire!
Oh no!
Hello and welcome back to Star Wars Beyond the Stars for episode number 55, recorded on Wednesday, December 16th, 2015. I'm your host, Fred, aka Sith Lord KotFE. And joining me tonight is not the commander of Sith Intelligence. He came down with a bout of the Rakul Plague from Captain Kimbray. But who's here in his stead? Pauline the janitor, cleaning up the pile of vomit that he left us.
I told him that was a vial of Rakul Plague and not a probe for Scorpio.
See, you assumed that Lou and I were close enough to exchange the Rakul Plague. That ain't what happened.
You spit on him like every day.
I do not! Ladies, don't spit!
Fine, you put saliva in your hand and throw it.
Yeah, no, that's the same thing.
Slightly different. We'll turn over to Judge Moricu of Tatooine.
Judge?
Yeah,
What?
is it the same thing? Spitting and throwing saliva?
Oh, okay, you mean Judge.
I thought you said George.
No, I don't think it's the same thing. Because
Haha, I win, smuggler.
it's like having a handshake with
No,
saliva.
that's enough. Be quiet, Judge.
Judge, he's going to be Judge Binks.
Question over, Judge Binks.
Oh, I'm sad now. Oh.
Bullet!
I don't try to exchange fluids with Lou. Quit spreading rumors.
I've seen you around the tea cantina. When he wants us to talk to you, you drag him off to the cantina and drink tea and have intelligent meetings.
The dark side is flowing through me as my hatred brews.
No, I think the good captain just exchanges the empty credit chit for Lou's full credit chit when she cans.
Credit what?
Chit. C-H-I-T.
That ain't what I heard.
Well, that's because the Force was moving you somewhere.
Force
Maybe you need to
my
get a
bowels right about now.
Q-tip and clean out those ears.
Where's
Well,
Tree?
I would love to use Q-tips for that, but unfortunately you used them all when you detailed ID-10T this week.
Oh, and what a mess that was.
Now what are we going to use to clean out Tree's ears? Oh, I know. Go grab the agent's toothbrush.
Oh, no.
It's okay, we'll just tell him it's new lemon-flavored Crest. I'm pretty sure they share one anyway.
I think she tries to share one with everybody.
She ate Kimbray's. Speaking of Kimbray, what's coming up in the captain's log tonight?
Coming up in the captain's log, we have KotFE Chapter 4 and nothing else. Since Lou's not here, there will not be an intelligence report.
No, the intelligence report this week shall be replaced with the idiot report by Moricu. We'll get there later. Moving into the captain's...
Like, that's rude.
It is. You're a
rude.
guest here.
Welcome to my ship.
You're a jerk.
Thank you.
Like,
Thank you.
Like, you're like George Lucas.
You
really
take
Star
that back, you bastard.
Never. I won't even let you land next time.
Well, fine. I'm like George Lucas. I'm going to retcon you in the next episode.
As long as I get royalty, that's fine.
Moving into the captain's log with KotFE Chapter 4. Play, please help me.
Okay. Chapter 4, The Gravestone. The scene begins when the ship you escaped Valen with crashes into a swamp. HK-55 said that he detects a metal structure with computerized components not far away. He beckons you to investigate it with him. You head off with HK-55 to kill creatures in the swamp while looking for pieces of the metal object. Once you've checked out all the pieces, you come to a swamp rancor that you need to kill. You then have a cutscene where HK-55 tells you that Lana reprogrammed him so that you're his master and his highest priority is to protect you. You can alter his program to only obey you or tell him not to prioritize you over the others.
And I will say, I love these little things during KotFE where you have to fight a boss, because you'll be fighting a bunch of trash mobs and then just out of nowhere a giant swamp rancor just jumps into the scene. You have to fight.
Yeah. Though, I will say, it's kind of like, I understand rancors are iconic, but they're a little overused.
The rancors are the new Kefas.
Right,
Like,
that's
we're
true.
going to have 50 flavors of rancors by the time this game ends.
50 Shades of Rancor, okay.
I want to see rancors added to Corellia, City Rancor. Just walking through.
Well, there is Lucky in the zoo.
Oh, that is true.
His name's Lucky.
Yep.
Yeah,
Wait, where's the zoo? I've never seen the zoo.
and if he kills you, you get the title The Unlucky.
Yeah, he's in Axial Park in the center there. And like you say, if he kills you, you get a legacy title called The Unlucky. If you get a group that kills him, you get the title Lucky. So,
That seems like a lot of hard work for a dog's name.
yeah. Yeah.
Crush your entire legacy, Maury.
Yeah, and it's at this point, too, that you've been going along in solo mode, and all of a sudden you go through an instance portal and you find other players, which is kind of disconcerting the first time it happens. It's like, I wasn't expecting people.
Yeah, the first time that I played KotFE, I thought that I was running into a phase, but I was actually coming out of one. Get your hand off of my...
What is happening?
I was just checking the crystal on your lightsaber.
Everybody, sit down and behave, or I will turn this ship around.
That is not my lightsaber.
Let's make it a funny home.
Play back to the agenda at hand.
Okay. Clearing further ahead, you find the object he was seeing, a giant ship in the middle of the swamp. And then KotFE comes up to quickly identify the ship as the Gravestone, which is like a weird name for a ship, but that's okay. The only ship that ever went up against the Zakul's fleet and won. And what are the odds of you finding that?
Yeah, I'll tell you though, the Gravestone, when you eventually get to the point where you can see it, that ship looks badass.
Oh yeah, no, it's definitely a cool ship. It's just like, ooh, the foreshadowing here, you know, what's the mystery with this ship?
Paige actually spent the comms and bought the little pet Gravestone and sent it to me, so I set it up in my stronghold every time I zone into the big Gravestone's right there next to my mailbox.
Cool.
That's right. That was one of his Christmas presents.
Ah, sweet.
I'm sorry, Life Day.
Yeah, Life Day.
Hey, I corrected myself. I don't need you to do it too.
So what'd you get Bodar for Life Day?
I got him a haircut.
Turned him into a rug.
Yeah, and then at that point, you then need to team up with KotFE and start clearing beasts out of the ship because, you know, given that's a wrecked ship, you're going to have lots of people or lots of creatures that decide to move into Motel 6. Or Gravestone 6, as the case may be.
Well, we can't use the last 2 levels of this ship.
Yep.
Never did that.
Tell me about that.
Ship, and it's way below standard.
Hey, this is the best ship that money could steal.
Yeah, I mean, I've had some reports of this ship, and I know it belongs to, and I need to let people know because
what?
Does it?
No.
Yes. Yeah, like you've been meeting me all day.
Oh, janitor, give me something to hit him with.
Here.
Ow!
Idiot!
Damn it!
Idiot!
They don't want it back because it's already been written off for insurance purposes. It needs to stay hidden.
Oh, trust me, the guy that owned this, he has no aversion to double dipping.
Okay.
Stole my ice cream once.
Oh,
Okay.
sloppy seconds.
No!
Is this all this episode is gonna be?
This is what we call filler content.
This is to keep you sub till we release a new sentence.
This is to keep people holding on until we put out another episode that's legitimate.
This is painful as the Gree event.
Painful as the Gree event for Lou.
This is more like the disagree event, but
Oh.
ouch.
Oh.
Okay. Once you reach the ship, you see a cutscene where Arkin and Valen are looking at a map. They realize that you've landed in the swamp. Arkin orders Sky Troopers to patrol the area looking for signs of metal. The cool knights enter the throne room, and one comes out ahead of the other, saying he takes responsibility for the Outlanders escaping, as it was his job to watch over the carbonite chamber. Without a second thought, Valen stabs him through the chest with her lightsaber. Arkin questions her reasoning. She simply says she didn't like his answer. The scene cuts back to the gravestone, where you receive a brief history of the ship. Then you must gather supplies, and you can choose whether to get the ship parts with Koth or find food and water with Lana first. You must do both, but you can select the order. And one nice thing about this is you go back out into the area. There's a little quest where you can gain a speeder. And once you're out in the area, you really don't have much competition for other people. It's another one of those points where you see people for a bit, and then you move into another phase zone. So, in some cases, it feels odd that you're doing it this way, because this could have been a whole area, a whole phased area. But I think BioWare wanted to remind people that you are in an MMO to some degree. But like I said, it just feels weird that they're so story focused, and you're the Outlander, and then all of a sudden you're just some other Joe searching through the swamp for, junk to take back to your ship.
What's even
the care
more
package?
Odd, like, they make you run across that swamp quite a few times throughout the story, and I think they kind of gave in to people crying a little bit, because there is a speeder that looks identical to the one that you rebuild. It just appears at certain points to fly you back and forth a little bit faster.
Right. I think that's what the initial quest is, that you build a speeder and then you get it to use as a regular speeder, and then that's the fiction behind the whole thing.
I don't think so, because there's a little tooltip when you mouse over it and it says, "Oh, HK55 must have left this here for you."
Okay, I hadn't noticed. But
where does he find that speeder?
Right. Well, he's out right now.
Robot can come back from the dead. I'm pretty sure he can just find a speeder somewhere.
Oh,
I mean,
Well, upon leaving the shipment, I got a little bit ahead of myself. There's a control unit in the ground which offers a quest to build a free speeder, and with parts you find heading out. So it's kind of like a little breadcrumb quest with a nice reward. It's a bit different than what they've done before, so that was cool. When helping Koth, you go to the swamp and you scan for ship parts. You then enter a phased area with supplies that Koth dropped during the crash landing, which he needs to repair the gravestone. Here, he'll either commend or damn you for actions when it comes to saving or not saving the people by shutting down the reactor. And then suddenly you have a surprise visit from HK before you both head back to the ship. And then when you're helping Lana, you must first go to take water readings at meters that conveniently already exist in this vacant swamp. During each reading, Lana and your character each talk to each other about what happened in the last 5 years, so you get a little bit of background on what's going on. After the initial 3, there's one more water location to check in a separate phase.
Now, didn't it seem a little bit odd that you're supposed to be in this abandoned swamp and there just happens to be these water meters conveniently stationed where you can check the water readings?
Right. It was, some of the story logic is a bit much.
Well, if I remember right, though, in this area, isn't there a quest where you actually have to save people? So there is people living there. So it's highly not unlikely that they could have done some kind of stuff.
Yeah, but aren't those people living in tents?
Doesn't mean they can't drink water. I mean, they can have salvaged stuff, and maybe they can make water tanks, but they can't build a ship to get out there. Which is, I don't know.
It's like a Gilligan's Island kind of scenario.
Well,
yeah,
it might have worked better if they'd made the water things look old and like they had been there a long time or like rusting and stuff. A lot of these look like brand new, so. Well,
I mean, the graveyard's been there how many years and it still looks like a new ship.
Gravestone.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, it don't look like an old gravestone. It looks like a new one with like marble.
Yeah.
Effect. Disclaimer, not actually marble.
Okay. After the initial 3, there's one more water location to check in a separate phase. Once you reach it, Lana will tell you a bit more about what's happened, and then say there's something different about you. You can either tell her the Emperor is in your mind, which she'll say she's going to keep an eye on you, or you can lie and tell her you're fine, to which she still suspects something and says she's certain that something is different. After your conversation with Lana, HK-55 calls and tells you to come to him. He's taken to a group of Zakul exiles hostages, and you can decide whether to light side, take him to the gravestone with you, or dark side, kill them and not take them.
It kind of sounds like exactly the same thing, because you either kill them or you take them to a gravestone.
Right. It's like, light side, let me force you to work on my ship. Dark side, I'm just going to wipe you out here.
And if you go dark side and choose to kill them, it's like super shady kind of dark side, because whatever companion you helped second is with you when you go there. And if you tell HK to kill them, he actually objects to it. He's like, "But Master, I haven't been built for just blatant slaughter." And your dude actually manipulates him and is like, "Oh, well, these people, that if they leave, they could tell people about me, and then they're a threat to my safety, so you need to neutralize them." So, like, your dude's just walking away and you just hear the blaster shots.
Right.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah, I hope this is one of those choices that has consequences down the road. Because right now it just feels like, oh, we had to throw in a light side, dark side choice for you. And again, this is one of the things where I hope that this is preparation for further chapters, because right now it just feels like it's a filler piece. We're going to have you come over to this little tent place and deal with some survivors in the swamp. And then you make a light side or dark side choice, and that's it. Really no consequences from there.
Would be interesting, though, if you actually can't get HK to rejoin you if you had him kill those people.
Right. Or if you hadn't have put him under your own control. This is where I feel like they had chances to make to make your choices matter, and they didn't take those steps. I know it adds to the complexity of the programming, but if all of a sudden HK doesn't like you, then maybe he's not so willing to sacrifice himself for you later on or something and do stuff for you. And so sometimes I feel like some of this is more, they wanted the story to reach a certain result and they kind of railroaded things, where if they stepped back a little bit and said, well, this is an interesting decision point. Let's, depending on what you've done, let's make some minor changes.
Yeah, it really seemed to me like HK should only have sacrificed himself if you told him to prioritize you over everyone else.
Right.
And if you told him to not place priority over you as opposed to the others, then he shouldn't have sacrificed himself, because he still has to protect the others too.
Right, and if he hadn't come back, at that point, he shouldn't have come up to be with you at that point.
I mean, I honestly feel like they just killed him off because they didn't want it to be repetitive with having 2 HK droids available as companions.
Or he was an easy companion to kill because they knew players would like him and then feel the impact. And leave the door open because he's a droid to easily bring him back without, doing a big stretch. But again, it just feels like there was an opportunity there that was missed that could have been interesting, add nuance to the story, add value to the replayability.
I just hope that they put a legitimate story reason as to why he was able to come back.
Yeah. And then at that point, he becomes your companion again, and you can fast travel back to the gravestone and then talk to him to continue. And then there starts a little montage cutscene where everyone is working to repair the ship. And then HK goes nuts and tries to kill a little critter for 15 minutes with a massive assault. And then almost, and a lot of people loved that. It was funny.
So freaking funny. I played it before Fred did, so I'm sitting over there and I'm just cracking up. And I can just sense that he wants to look over to see what I'm laughing at, but he can't because he doesn't want to spoil it for himself. It was so funny. And then I watched it when he did it. Best ever.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that was actually a nice thing that they did. They kind of stepped out of the pure, quote-unquote, Star Wars storytelling style and did something that people call more like an homage to the 80s movies, where you have your little music and doing stuff. And it was just a fun beat in the middle of the story. And I liked them for being comfortable enough to do that.
Yeah, I've gone back and forth about the idea that they're bringing HK-55 back, and recently I've replayed through KotFE a couple of times, and I've realized, he's coming back one way or another, so I've just realized to accept it because he is a cool character. So I think it's going to be okay once he's back. And
right. And if they keep him as the bodyguard and I view him more as the light side version of the HK series and have him go that route, I think that will give him that distinct personality as opposed to HK-51, who's more, I'm going to kill everything,
I want your 2 HK droids to bicker if you have them both.
Yeah, that would be fun to see him on a ship talking to each other. And at that point, you hear strange sounds on the gravestone and start to head to check them out, and that's where the chapter ends.
Da-da-da!
Believe it or not, folks, this one actually took a substantial amount of time to play through. Just the bullet point list is considerably shorter than some of them.
Yeah, there's a lot of travel time in there and killing things and going back and forth. Yeah, story-wise, it wasn't huge, but it did well as a change of pace from some of the story-heavy stuff that you've been dealing with getting to here.
So, Maury, what were your thoughts on Chapter 4 and HK-55?
I mean, yeah, that scene where he's killing stuff is really entertaining, and I guess that's the part where you really just kind of see his personality and kind of you want him. That's the train that you get put on to start getting to have emotional attachments to him. In like a casual gamer type way, where you get attached to your companions, and you want him to succeed and make you a sandwich and that kind of stuff. Kill those little critters, make your sandwich so you're not hungry while you're flying through the universe, saving people and that kind of stuff.
Paige, what are your thoughts on HK-55 in this chapter?
I love him, and he's so funny, and I like it when he kills things because murder makes me laugh.
Wow, that's dark.
Yeah, boy.
Like I said, it was a nice change of pace from the previous more intense, we must escape, to, okay, we've escaped, now let's figure out what we're doing, and gave you a little downtime, beating up something that wasn't the Sky Trooper, and a little exploration of what's happened in the last 5 years while you were slowly dying in carbonite.
There was an uncomfortable amount of Sky Troopers in the previous episode. I mean, the previous chapters, wasn't it, though? Like, when they're coming out of those wall things, like, did they really need to be there? I mean, there's no war in the Internal Empire. It's all, why is the Sky Troopers in walls? Makes no sense. What are they expecting to do? Like, people try and steal
What do you mean
paintings?
walls?
There's that one point where you're escaping and they, like, come out of walls. I'm sure they come out of walls. I'm pretty sure they do.
They're in the tubes and stuff because, one point you're going through the droid factory, so it's understandable there. But yeah,
but still, why are they coming out of walls and droids and makes no sense.
Yeah,
makes no sense.
I think you're talking about when you're on Darth.
You don't know what
ship.
I'm talking about. You don't even play it.
Yeah, you don't even know what you're talking about.
Well, there's that bit where
in the droid factory, and they come out, and you're running up those steps. And then tubes, but they're attached to the wall, basically.
Or like the area after you beat, you'd make the decision about the sun generator, whether you're going to save the people or just, leave them to die. And you get into that little arena, and the containers were opening up like on CZ-198.
But those were prototype models that were being experimented with.
Yeah, but it just seemed a little weird that they were there near the control room for, a sun generator, so...
And they happen to activate themselves when you get near them?
Right. So, it was, they were a little heavy-handed with the Sky Troopers. I mean, droids are nice because you can kill them and not feel guilty because they're just machines, but it would have been nice to see more of the Zakul Knights or a little more variety in the opponents that you're dealing with.
Yeah, I mean, I think it might have just been me, but I was like, why are they making me do this combat stuff? Like, just let me see the story. Like, it just seems like they put filler of killing stuff in for no real story purposes. Like running away, let's spawn 1 million Sky Troopers as I run between an elevator and another elevator. Like, really?
You know what I didn't understand as far as the story goes is why, since Koth is from Zakul to begin with, why did he have an HK droid instead of having a Sky Trooper that was his own personal droid?
I think the story at one point says HK was given to Lana, and then Lana has him working with Koth because he's a bodyguard HK.
That's what I was thinking.
And he couldn't obviously come into the facility with her because he'd be too obviously different.
Yeah.
Whereas I guess, astromechs like T7 are just ignored by everybody. And they can wander around in and out of secure facilities and no one notices.
When you first played through the KotFE story, did you realize that those Sky Troopers were droids? Because until the part where you see Darth Maul rip one apart, I thought they were soldiers.
I didn't until Mar tore one apart, and it's like, oh, this is just a droid. So,
yeah.
And then, of course, they can be violent and nasty and, tear limbs off and things, and they won't get a mature rating. They don't have blood splattering all over the place.
Yeah. Well, I certainly wouldn't have minded getting a Sky Trooper as a companion because they're really cool-looking droids.
Oh, if you could reprogram one later.
Yeah, like one of those...
that'd be cool.
The black prototype ones when you're escaping. That would have been cool.
Maybe an HK 51 or 55 customization that makes them look like a Sky Trooper.
See, I'm not really into the HK customizations that change them from the droid models that they are. Like,
right.
There's one HK-51 customization that I'll actually use where it just changes his paint style, basically, but he's still an HK droid.
Right.
It looks weird when you're running around with an HK droid that looks like one of those crappy Imperial or Republic droids that are all over the fleet, and it still says HK above his head.
Right, but
It's
I mean...
immersion breaking for you.
Yes,
Yeah.
it is.
Oh.
But I wouldn't be
How do you
surprised...
sleep at night?
Yeah. But I wouldn't be surprised to see it on the cartel market, especially as a ultra rare item, and everybody go nuts trying to get it.
I'd be happy enough just to get an actual costume for my character, because there's a cool like night one, and we've got Thexan's robes. Like, just give me a Sky Trooper look. That'd be pretty cool.
They won't do that though because that's not armor. That they're actually a droid.
Well, though they've got the cybernetic armor.
Yeah, they
that
might
you can
come
put
out
on.
with a hybrid that has like a Sky Trooper helmet and parts of you that are flesh and stuff.
Yeah.
Like a Zakul cyborg armor.
Well, I'm pretty sure that they can break the model down into costume pieces. I'm sure if they can build a starship, I'm pretty sure they can make that into a costume.
Oh, I mean, they could, but I don't think that they will. But now that Play mentioned that, though, what they'll probably do is make a Zakul Knight companion contract. Or not Zakul Knight, Zakul Sky Trooper companion contract that they put in a cartel pack as a super rare drop, like the Act Dog and the Nexu.
Right.
Bless you.
Yeah, no, that wouldn't surprise me. But there was, I thought, one in one of the cartel packs that it would actually make you look almost like a full cybernetic character.
Oh, yeah, there's been
full
a few of those now.
Right, and that wouldn't surprise me if they did that like the Sky Trooper, and have you collect the pieces.
Doesn't the Gree armor kind of makes you look like a Borg, or like a disco Borg or something? I don't know.
More like Tron, something from Tron.
That's right. Yeah, that's it.
Honestly, I would have preferred, instead of them giving us the cybernetic armor like that, if they would have actually given it as a customization option for cyborgs. But you pick what parts of you want to be machine.
Yeah.
I know which I'd choose.
Moving on.
All night long, baby.
Alright, well, into our Star Wars recommendation of the week. What do you have for us this week, Paige?
Because it's the holiday season, I have a Star Wars ornament. This comes from my friends over at Etsy.com, and you can order this ornament until December the 18th to get delivery on Christmas. And it is an aluminum ornament that you can personalize. The original message is "The Force is strong in my family," and then you customize it with your family's name and then the year 2015. So it would be like, "The Force is strong in my family, last name 2015.
I think I would customize it to say, "The Force is strong in my family, the Skywalkers 2015.
I guess you could do that. This 3-inch aluminum ornament is engraved, and it comes with a pretty little ribbon so that you can hang it on your tree. Isn't that nice? I will post it with a photo and a link on the Facebook wall when the time comes. So
I can't believe you said aluminum.
Oh my god, hold on.
Makes me sad inside.
Aluminium.
Hey, there we go.
You're welcome.
Happy.
Why does her saying that make you say the Fonzie catchphrase?
Hey.
Because I'm a space rebel.
Hey.
Oh,
Hey.
you're just a regular loser.
Okay, moving on.
Who has fondled your lightsaber tonight?
Into the community holofeed, since we have no intelligence report tonight.
Our bi-weekly trivia question. Each week we're going to post a trivia question into the audio and YouTube video version of the show. This question will run for 2 weeks. The audio version will feature 3 clues and the video version will feature 5. Shoot us an email with your answer to StarWarsBeyond@gmail.com. In the email, include your character name, your faction, and the server that you play on. If there's more than one correct answer, we'll do a random drawing to win a cartel pack. Everyone that makes a serious attempt will be entered into a drawing for a much larger prize. Correct answers will get 2 entries into the much larger prize drawing. You can be entered into the grand prize drawing every time that you answer correctly. And because Agent Olan is looking for someone to explode upon and rack up his points for achievements, we will be carrying the trivia question over for another week.
And you really had to make that analogy with Mori here. Wow. And yes, that's right. We just changed the rules to us running the question for 2 weeks, and we're already changing our cadence like BioWare. It's going to be like a 4 or 5 week question by the time.
What's the grand prize anyway?
Usually
is there an actual prize, or is
that.
are you just saying that? Like, you're just making it up?
No, we've given away prizes.
We give away.
Yes.
We give away a big prize at the end. Normally it's been a hyper crate, but it's probably going to be a smaller prize this time around just because we've had less questions and less entries by different factors.
Well, I think the first time we gave away something from our store, we gave away a mug.
We did that both
Wait, you got a store?
Yeah, we have a store.
What do you sell in the store?
Don't tell him he's one of the NSG overlords.
Well, it's too late now. The rat goes out of the bag.
Yeah, no, we'll just cut this part out. And then he doesn't know.
You can't cut it out of my mind. Like, there's no force wiping, as far as I'm aware.
You want to bet?
Well, apparently you haven't had enough entries to be able to bet anything.
Moving on. What's going on
We'll
our SWTOR community page?
You can check out our fellow SWTOR podcasts. Most of them are available on iTunes, Stitcher Radio, and at SWTORnetwork.com. There's Corellian Run Radio at CorellianRun.com, MoonTiniCast at MoonTiniCast.com, SWTOR Skate Podcast at NewOverlords.com, The Usual Podcast at TheUsualPodcast.com. We have friends over on iTunes, Passionately Casual Podcast, Old Republic Radio, and It's a Trap Podcast. And we have the Bad Feeling Podcast at BadFeelingPodcast.com. Be warned, that's an explicit podcast. You can also follow Madmar at SWTOR Family for the latest happenings in the SWTOR community. And if you'd like to have your podcast listed on this segment, send us an email at StarWarsBeyond@gmail.com.
That is right. And we also just hosted episode 12 of the Galactic Gamers Coalition. And that should hopefully be out before this episode.
Ooh, Inception.
You can find out more about this show at StarWarsBeyond.com. Like us on Facebook at Facebook.com/StarWarsBeyondPodcast. Send us an email to StarWarsBeyond@gmail.com. Notice the theme there. And you can tweet us, the show at StarWarsBeyond. You can tweet Fred at SithLordCorv. You can tweet Lou at GamerGuy11B. You can tweet Paige at Ace of Fiery. You can tweet myself at Wow Piper. And you can find Maury at Moricu of Tamriel.
And now it's time for our final thoughts.
I'm hungry. I really need food.
I hate you so much.
Hashtag blame Murray.
My final thought was, I enjoyed the chapter. I hope we see more consequences, and I do feel like BioWare missed a few chances to at least make your choices matter, even not in a big world-changing way. It would be nice to see them matter in small ways too. You know, if they're really focusing on story and choices matter, that needs to ripple everywhere. But I'm kind of flogging a dead tauntaun.
I wish you would flog Maury.
Okay, that just crossed the line into weird, so everybody
Sticks
shut
and
up.
stones
Wait.
would break my bones, but whips and chains excite me.
Regurgitation. Okay, is it my turn? Is it my turn?
Yes, it is.
Is that food you wanted, Maury?
All right.
Thank you.
My. Ew! That's so gross. Stop making eating noises. Okay, shut up. Shut up. It's my turn. My final thought, I expected someone to troll me there, so I paused, is the movie is coming out this week. Do not spoil it for other people. Don't do it. That's my final thought. I will kill you.
Pretty sure George Lucas has already done that.
Burn.
Oh, I'm so cutting edge.
And my final thought. Beyond the Stars is an independently recorded fan podcast made in association with NSG Productions.
That's my show, NSG. You're welcome, Fred.
And now it's time to say goodnight.
Me first? Should I say goodnight? I mean, I'm really glad you had me on the show, and I'm sure you guys are. I'm sure your listeners are really thrilled to hear me again. Apparently, Fred's been telling me that you're getting all kinds of good reviews from me being on, so you're welcome.
No, I didn't say anything about our reviews being good. I said we've been getting good feedback.
Feedback is reviews.
No, we're probably like ranked 1 star at this point.
Well, that's just because you're on every week.
Boom!
And good night, everybody. Enjoy the movie. Have some happy holidays, and we will talk to you on the other side.
My final thought is...
We already did that!
Oh. Shucky ducky. You gotta skip it. No! No! Okay. Good night from the captain's chair. Don't spoil the movie. I'll shoot you with my blaster.
Say goodnight, Lou. Good night, everybody.
You've served your purpose.
Beyond the Stars bi-weekly trivia question asked on December 2nd, 2015. First clue. My people's senses were so acute, we could sense sound like other races could see colors. Second clue. We evolved past the need for sleep. Rather, we would go into light, meditative trances instead. Third clue. Our society was highly regimented. We had sophisticated computer programs in place to help govern all types of decisions. Fourth clue. My race and civilization went back millions of years, on par with the ancient Greek and Qua. Fifth clue. Our people held an ancient tradition of sending our Force sensitives to the Jedi Order. Who or what am I? And as a reminder, 3 of our clues are featured in the audio version of the show. Check out the video version on YouTube for an additional 2 clues. Send an email to StarWarsBeyond@gmail.com, and in your email include the answer, please, your character name, your faction, and the server you play on. And did I mention the faction you're on? Good luck, everyone. Looking forward to your answers.